Another high-stakes day in the murder trial of Christopher Schurr as thousands in West Michigan and across the country eagerly await a verdict. Thanks for joining us on News Channel 3 at 11. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Jessica Harthorn. Schurr is accused of second-degree murder in the death of Patrick Lioya following a traffic stop in 2022. And there are 3 outcomes for this trial. As
Schurr could be found guilty of murder in the second degree, but now the jury can also consider a separate lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter. And of course, as Schurr testified, he had to shoot Lioya in self-defense. The jury could find him not guilty of any crime. But the public will have to wait at least one more day to find out. After 12 hours of deliberating, the jurors announced that they had been unable to reach a verdict.
The judge telling the jury late this afternoon to keep working to reach a unanimous verdict. She also denied a third motion for a mistrial from the defense in response to this. News Channel 3's Abigail Taylor joins us live in the studio tonight after speaking with a longtime Kalamazoo attorney about these latest developments. And Abigail, in his experience, when does a deadlocked jury be deemed a mistrial?
Yeah, Randall Levine, who's not part of Schurr's trial, says it's entirely up to the judge. She decides using limited details conveyed by the jury foreperson about just how uncompromising the deadlock really is.
When you continue your deliberations, do not hesitate to rethink your own views and change your opinion if you decide it was wrong.
The court's not allowed to ask for specifics on what is hanging the jury up. But Randall Levine, an attorney with decades of experience in trials, explains how the judge measures the possibility of compromise.
Without telling me what you're talking about, where are you in your division? Are you 6-6? Are you 10-2?
According to Levine, the judge takes into account this split. Are there just a couple outliers, or does it seem to be an unbudging deadlock?
Does it appear based on the statements made by the foreperson that they're making progress, or they're going backwards?
There's no hard rule as to how long a jury must deliberate, but Levine says a judge does consider the amount of time spent in assessing the possibility for unlocking an agreement.
In a case of this magnitude, such a high-profile case, it's not uncommon for the jury to be out 2, 3, or 4 days.
With a now added possible conviction of voluntary manslaughter, Levine says while it can complicate things, in his experience, a lesser charge often invites compromise between jurors on opposite sides. This does not mean acquittal or a murder conviction are off the table.
This is why we have juries. It's up to the jury to decide unanimously which of the 3 it is. And if they can't agree, that's where we get a deadlock, and that results in a mistrial.
That said, Levine says with all the resources spent and the high-profile nature of this case, he still believes there will be a verdict. So far during deliberations, the jury hasn't submitted any follow-up questions. Levine tells me this is typical since about a decade ago when jurors began being able to ask questions during the trial. The judge, however, today reminded the so-called deadlocked jury that this option is available. Live in the studio, Abigail Taylor, News Channel 3.